Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. And so it's already began, guys. Usually we find out this news, the day after the last games of the NFL season. But of course, the Broncos went ahead, got things started earlier, informed their now former head coach, Vic Fangio, that he is no longer going to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos moving forward. And so here we have a statement that was released by the president, Joe Ellis. I'll go through and read this, but he basically states that this morning, George and I, and so George is the GM that they have, informed Vic of the decision to part ways with him as the head coach of the Denver Broncos. For the past 3 seasons, Vic put his heart and soul into coaching the Broncos. I want to thank Coach Fangio for giving his maximum effort to our organization since the day he was hired. It's important to note they did give him time to, at least say goodbye to his coordinators and stuff like that. So they handled it with pretty good class there. They say George will have full authority in selecting the next head coach of the Broncos. This is his decision and his program. And then President Joe Ellis goes on to state, I have complete confidence in George's ability to lead an exhaustive and successful head coach search. We will give George every available resource and fully support him in hiring the very best head coach to lead the Broncos. So that is what they say there on that decision. And according to Jeremy Fowler, he says the sense was that Broncos GM George Paton was torn at one point over the decision to fire Vic Fangio. Because if you think about it, and as it goes on to state here, the defense has been great, under Coach Fangio ever since he's been there with the Broncos. But at the same time, the offense has never ranked higher than 22nd throughout his tenure. And at that point, I get it. There's been some injuries this past season with Bridgewater. Obviously, Locke just didn't play out as they hoped. But, yeah, not being ranked higher than 22. And so that ultimately was his downfall there. And they ultimately led to 30 losses in 3 years. And ultimately, they had no choice but to move on from him this year. But obviously, a well-respected man, someone that's going to be in high demand when it comes to the defensive coordinator position moving forward this season. And they said the Broncos become obviously the third team with a head coach vacancy. And it's definitely an attractive one. We're talking about a team with a very good roster that just really needs a quarterback, and then some other pieces with that, but mostly need a quarterback with that. And so some of the names that, they're saying to keep an eye out for that's going to be attractive is Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. That's why we know he was head coach down there in Atlanta. Also defensive coordinator down there in Seattle, where he had a lot of success there. We'll keep an eye out for that, and especially with a program that's used to having great defense. Of course, that's a name that may come up there, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Patriots inside linebacker coach Gerard Mayo. It's important to point out the Patriots don't exactly have a defensive coordinator, for that title. So therefore, Gerard Mayo, he has a lot more involvement than his title initially says. And then offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett for the Packers, names to be watching as well. That's definitely an intriguing one to me, especially if you believe that Aaron Rodgers will be leaving the Broncos. If they're able to bring in offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, does that mean the Broncos potentially have a chance to get Aaron Rodgers? That's another storyline to keep your eye on moving forward. But yeah, that's definitely one of those things to keep your eye out for. And of course, as more news continues to unfold, you can be sure to find it here. So make sure you guys leave a thumbs up here for the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. I do a lot of play-by-plays, and especially news like this. I'll definitely be doing a lot more news of this, particularly throughout the off season. That's what I do. So definitely make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for coming through. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. Who is the right hire for the Denver Broncos? All that stuff. Definitely want to hear from you guys. But with that being said, thank you guys so much, and see you guys next video.